Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our MoneyWise Wednesday session. I've got a couple of team members here with me. We've got Kelly Walter, we've got Kelly Merck. You guys, quickly take a second to introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I knew Kelly was going to let me go first. So I'm Kelly Walter. I've had the privilege of leading some of our MoneyWise Wednesdays with you all. I'm really excited for Herschel to kind of take the lead today. I know he loves teaching kids and he's really passionate about today's topic. So you guys are in for a treat. So glad you came back to see us today.
Hi, and I'm Kelly Merck. I'm glad that you guys are here with us today, and I hope you enjoy our topic.
Outstanding. So we've got a really cool topic. As the ladies have mentioned, we're going to be talking about debt repayment and debt management, the strategies themselves, right? So I want to take just a quick second and just share with you why this is important for us to be discussing this today. Kelly, Walter, can you share with us? See, it's pretty cool. I get to call them both Kelly, but I got a cool trick. I call one Kelly and Kelly IE, but we're going to talk to Kelly just for a second. Kelly, can you share with us why we're discussing this topic today?
Yeah, so if any of you kiddos joined us for the last couple of sessions, we've kind of been building up on different topics. And we started with identity theft and fraud protection, right? And then last week you saw us talk about budgeting. And we wanted to pick topics that were really relevant to what your parents are also going through in life right now with all this coronavirus madness. And so naturally, the next lesson for us was talking about debt management, because when we're budgeting things, we're budgeting what we're spending our money on, right? And when you grow up and you're living on your own, you're more likely going to have things that you're going to be paying for, like loans, okay? And we're going to learn what all those things are. And so it's a very natural step for you guys to start learning. And we're going to be talking to your parents at 12 o'clock today about the same topic. So this is a really good thing for you guys to talk about together after you've both had a chance to watch your sessions.
So really quick, Kelly, can you share some statistics that are out there right now that you've come across that pertains to debt repayment, debt management itself? Can you share some of those?
Absolutely. We looked up some census reports, and just to give you an idea of what the census is, it's a tool that the government uses to fund schools and hospitals, fire departments, to improve neighborhoods. So it's a tool that they use to tell us everything about your area. And what we found was that the average income for our area, which is North Florida and South Georgia, the average income is $57,300 a year. And what that equates to is about $4,800 a month. So looking further into it, we found out that the average debt per household, not everybody's debt, but what the average is around $49,000. So the average household has $49,000 worth of debt, not including mortgage or rent. And that equates to about $580 to $600 a month in payments. Wow. And then when you add, yeah, it's a lot. And so then when you add in the mortgage, the average mortgage in Florida is around $230,000. Now, again, that's not everybody's, that's the average. And so that payment equals out to between $1,300 and $1,600 a month. And the other Kelly will go into that a little bit more to explain how that works. But that means that the average household in our area has debt of $2,200 a month. And again, some people have more and some people have less, but that's just the average that we found from the census.
Kelly, thank you for sharing that information with us. So without further ado, let's take a quick field trip over to our website and let's see some of the information that we're going to be learning from so that you have a perfect avenue of how to get there to recap and educate yourself further, okay? So bear with us as we do a quick screen share.
I have a feeling we're about to watch Jen.
We are about to watch Jen. We've met Jen a couple of times for those that haven't had the opportunity to meet with us on Wednesdays for our MoneyWise Wednesday sessions. If this is the first time you're meeting Jen, you're in for a treat. She's one of my favorite characters. So stand by, let's meet Jen. Let's go ahead and go over to our website and we're going to meet Jen on her journey for today in debt management. That being said, once you click on the actual website itself, you'll navigate through by selecting community development. You'll click on your resources tab. From resources, you'll click on It's a Money Thing. It's a Money Thing. After you click on It's a Money Thing, scroll down. You'll see a list of all of our topics that we're going to be going through. Some of these, not all of them, but we encourage you to go and visit this site, this page. and start self-educating yourself. But what we're going to navigate to is debt repayment module. Debt repayment module. Let's take a field trip with Jen and let's see what we can explore and find out today with you guys.
So cold. Must keep moving.
Hot cocoa?
Ooh, why thank you. Wait a second. Ah! Who are you? Wait, where am I?
Hello, my tiny human friend. My name is Dave, and I am a debt yeti. And you're here in the Mountain of Debt!
What? I don't want to be here.
No one does. But as you know, consumer debt is a slippery slope. Debt can be painful.
Ow.
It's stressful, it's expensive, and it limits the amount of money you can put toward other things.
So how do I get out of here?
Hey, chill! You simply have to choose a debt repayment strategy.
Of course, but I don't know any.
Start by making a list of all your debts. Credit card, medical, student loans, you name it. You'll need to know the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment for each debt. Then you can choose from the following strategies: the snowball method, the avalanche method, or consolidation. The snowball method is good for beginners. In it, you arrange your debts from smallest balance to largest balance. Every month, set aside as much money as possible for debt repayment. Then, after making the minimum payment on all your debts, the rest goes toward paying off the debt with the smallest balance. Paying off those smaller loans frees up more money to put toward debt repayment.
Like a snowball getting larger and larger.
That's right. Plus, the small victories can give you some much-needed motivation if you're feeling completely overwhelmed.
What if I'm not totally overwhelmed, but still have a lot of debt?
The avalanche method is, mathematically speaking, the most powerful debt repayment strategy. In it, you arrange your debts by interest rate, from highest to lowest. Every month, you make the minimum payment on each, and the rest of the money you set aside for debt repayment goes toward the loan with the highest interest rate.
So you get rid of your most expensive debt first.
Exactly! Now, sometimes that debt may also have a large balance, so it might not feel like you're making as much progress as in the snowball method. But if you can weather the storm, the avalanche method is worth it.
Nice. I mean, cool.
Then there's consolidation. This can be a helpful strategy if you're having trouble keeping track of all your various debts and their payment dates. When you consolidate your loans, you take out a new loan and use the borrowed money to pay off all your other debts. You are then left with only one loan, and therefore only one interest rate and one payment date to worry about.
I do like the sound of that.
You still have to do your research and make sure it's right for you. The new loan may have additional fees or a higher interest rate than your current combined debts. Your credit union can give you more information on the loan options available to you.
Snowball, avalanche, and consolidation. Those are some helpful strategies, Dave, but I was hoping for something a little more immediate.
I see. Well, how about the sled strategy? The only thing you need for this one is your balance.
You mean for my loans or just...
So, what a wonderful field trip Jen often takes us on. So there were several instances to where we could have probably put ourselves in Jen's shoes. So what we want to do moving forward is prevent from having to be exposed as though Jen was to a lot of the debt stress that she's managing now. So let's scroll through and see what we can learn together as we venture through this strategies for debt repayment. As you can see, we're going to climb the mountain of debt with Jen as she often visited with us, but we're going to share with you a couple of ways and a couple of things that you can decompress, but also manage your debt itself. So debt is stressful. It's expensive. It limits the amount of money you can put toward your life goals. Kelly, can you share with us, Kelly Merck, with us one of your life goals that you're wanting to accomplish, but you have to make sure that you're managing your debt efficiently? Can you share one of your life goals?
I would love to be able to buy a beach house.
You and I both. I'd prefer to.
I would
Kelly,
love to come visit your beach house.
Kelly, how about yourself? Do you have a life goal that you're wanting to accomplish, but you know that you have to manage your debt in a sense and a fashion?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them, but if I had to pick one right now, I would like to be able to not have to work forever. So I'd like to be able to retire one day.
Indeed, indeed. So some of those challenges, some of those goals that we're wanting to accomplish, it takes short-term discomfort to achieve those long-term goals, right? So that's what we have to make sure that we're understanding. Nothing happens overnight. You build onto your dream by managing your debt. You get organized, you create a strategy, and you follow your monthly plan. I've got a younger son. He's still in school. He wants a mobile phone, but that's something that he wants. That's not something that he needs. So in order for me to pay for it, he's repaying me. But we created not only the contract that the company provided us for the cell phone, but a contract that he and I have personally as well, that he's responsible for his monthly bill. It has to be on time, and he has to manage his personal debt with his father. So a lot, just like my son, there's a lot of other kids out there that's managing their own cell phone as well. Let's progress to the next slide and see what else we can learn, guys. A list of all your debts, as Jen shared in the video: credit cards, medical bills, student loans. A lot of you are not going to be exposed to a lot of this, but it's a lot of conversation that can be had with your parents of how they manage their debt. So it's principles and things that you learn from your parents to carry on in your adult life itself. So as we're learning about balancing our debt, we often know that we have to assume more debt to pay off debt that already exists. And a huge part of that is understanding what interest rates are. Interest rates, when we say interest rate, that's what you pay back, right? So when we say interest, it's either paying back or money that you're making. So let's let Kelly Walter just kind of define really quick what in terms of interest rates means for you all.
Okay, so an interest rate, kids, is when you want to buy something, but you don't already have enough money to buy it, and you have to borrow it from the credit union or the bank or whomever you borrowing money from. Maybe it's your parents. So here, for example, Jen wrote the Gold Rewards credit card. She has a balance of $1,400, but her interest rate is 19.05. So she pays $19, a little over $19 for every $100 that she's borrowing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you for defining that, Kelly. That was great. So now that we know what interest rate is, we want to ensure that we're looking for the lowest interest rate possible. So that means that's the less we have to pay back. Let's progress on to the next slide. Thank you for that, Kelly.
You're welcome.
The strategy you choose will affect the order in which you pay off your debt. So Jen and the Mountain Monster were able to expose us to 3 different methods of debt management and repayment. Let's go ahead and look at the first one. It's a snowball method. So I'm going to turn your attention over to Kelly Merck really quick, just so she can share a quick snippet of how the snowball method works. Kelly, can you share that with us?
Sure. So the snowball method works where you arrange your debt from smallest balances to largest balances. And what you do is you pay the minimum payment on each of the loans, and then you take what you have left over set aside for the loans and pay that on the smallest balance. And that way, once your smallest balance is done, you've gotten rid of one debt, and it kind of helps you stay on track. You feel like you've accomplished something. So it's a really good method for beginners and people that need that motivation. So you pay off the smallest debt, and then you take that money and you put it towards the next debt, and you work your way down to the largest debt until everything's paid off.
Outstanding. So small victories lead to big accomplishments. Thank
Absolutely.
you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing the snowball method. The avalanche method. Kelly, we're going to turn your attention back over to you, Kelly Walter. Can you show us really briefly what the avalanche method looks like?
Yep. So when I told you guys about interest rate, the avalanche method is really for people who organize their debts based on paying off the ones that have either the highest interest rate first. So the reason why sometimes people choose to do that or are motivated to do it that way is because when you pay interest back, the more interest that you pay, the more money is coming out of your pocket and into the lender, right? So when you do it by avalanche method, you're kind of paying yourself first in the sense that you're paying less interest right now up front because you're going ahead and paying off the debts to have the higher interest rate now. So both methods work for everyone to pay off debts. Just some people are motivated by different things.
Yes.
Just because you're paying off the highest interest rate doesn't mean that that's also the lowest balance that you have, that like in the debt snowball. So it could take you longer to pay off your first loan that you're attacking. So it may take a little bit longer for you to do that.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that avalanche method. And we're going to move over to the final method that I really, really like. It's the debt consolidation method, right? So what we're doing, we'll be taking a loan, new loan money, and then we'll be paying off all of our debts beneath using that loan amount so that we can have one monthly payment based on our budget and what we can afford, right? So the debt consolidation method is tremendous. It doesn't work for everyone because a lot of the times what typically happens is we take on new debt after we see free money, right? That's not what our intentions are. So we had the avalanche method, we had the snowball method, and we had the debt consolidation method. If you don't know which strategy is best for you, talk to your credit union about debt counseling or other resources that's available to you. Let's progress to the next slide. Follow a monthly plan. It's super important that once you're knocking off these debts that you reward yourself by making a check mark. Scratch it off the list. Let's move to the next item. Let's show that we're making progress. Set a payment. Define an additional amount of money to put towards loan payment every month. Be generous and realistic, but do not cheat yourself, right? Because the last thing we want to do is use the money that we're making to pay off the credit card, losing the amount of money that we have to only go back and use the credit card again, right? So that's what we do not want to do. Don't cheat yourself. Be realistic. Make a payment that fits your budget. Like I said before, start at the top. Strike those things off the list. Reward yourself. Be happy. You're making progress. Small victories lead to big accomplishments. Right. So make sure that we're marking those things off the list, rewarding ourselves and making sure we're holding ourselves accountable. Okay. That's part of debt management. So again, available to everyone, members, non-members, visit our website, envisioncu.com, click on our resources tab, navigate over to It's a Money Thing, choose from several topics, not only the one that we presented for you today, but there are a wealth of informational topics that we're going to be covering, but there's nothing wrong with self-educating yourself until we meet you there.
Gives you guys something to do too, you know?
Indeed, it does.
You get done with your daily packet from school, your weekly packet. I know a lot of students we're seeing are already done with everything, and that's totally fine. But, you know, parents, if you still want to have a little bit of something for your kiddos to do where they're, you know, having some good brain activity and, you know, activities to read and do, these are really fun. And Jen's really fun, and the videos are kind of comical too, so you might get a laugh out of it as well.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. So I think we're doing a giveaway, right?
Indeed we are. Indeed we are, Kelly.
MoneyWise Wednesday, we do a giveaway. Yeah. I want to do a shout out real quick. We have 2 winners from last week. Hopefully they're watching again this week. They already know they're winners, but we had Fannie Miller from last week and Sharon Taylor. Both won $25 gift cards. They're coming to them. Yay. And then we had a video last week as well, and so we'll know who those winners are going to be soon. So if you want to be this week's winner, just comment, share, and you can tag people if you want your friends to see this so that they can share it with their kiddos. You can tag them here and comment, and you're automatically entered to win. It's that easy.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. So to all of our viewers, all of our members, please take advantage of these recorded videos. The information that's being shared is truly relevant, not only for yourself, but for your kids as well. Let's change the dynamic of the conversation around the dinner table, guys. Let's do it. One Wednesday at a time. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.